that important, and how can that help us as teachers, as educators, even as parents, to our own children. So, first thing, recognizing and responding to suicidal tendencies in students. This is the big objective of this whole workshop. Okay, to be equipped enough to be able to recognize and then be able to respond the right way, uh, and identify suicidal tendencies in students. Then raise awareness about suicide in adolescents. Learn early identification strategies. Understand risk factors. Practice safe communication. Maybe we'll do some role play and discussion. We'll see how much time we have. Okay. And then build supportive school environment. So the first thing first, okay, since a majority of this is done, the initiative is taken by Reshmi ji, and majority of the audience was specifically from India. So a lot of data is very specific to India, but these kind of data everyone can check in their own country. If you're from another country, like if you're in Philippines, you can check for yourself, and you'll be able to gather this data. This is a reference. So this data that I've collected from NCRB, the body that actually keep records of national in India, in national level, they keep these records for suicide. Okay, so it's important to understand why are we doing this, and that will only be more visible once we have a better understanding of the whole landscape. So this is specifically to India. Suicide statistics in India from 2019 to 2020. I could not get more information specifically for 2023 and 2024 because they said that the reports are not fully completed and released. But anyway, this is the total suicide, not students only. This is total suicide in India since 2019. 139,123 in 2009, 153,052 in 2020, 20,000 in 2021, 164,033, and in 2020, 170,924. And as you can see, it has only been raising year to year. It's going up. So from 2019 to 2022, we can see an increase of over 30,000 deaths by suicide. And this is what is reported. Okay, and then a lot that does not get reported. A lot goes under unidentified cause of death, because of, families want to hide because it's a shame knowing that someone in the family committed suicide. So a lot of data get washed up, and but the data that we have in hand, even in that we can see such constant increase year to year. I'm just looking into how will it be in 2023 and 2024. Once I have that data, maybe in the next workshop we can talk about that. So that's why this is very important. Now I've also broken it down. How is it and gender distribution? So you can see that there is more male suicide than female. 70% is male and 30%, plus minus is female, and also increasing year to year in both. If you look, 8,000 more deaths in the last 4 years in female suicides, and 20, almost 30,000 death increase in male suicide. You can stop me and ask the question. This is the same thing, and in the graph. Okay, age-wise. Oh, before I show you, let me ask you, what do you think is the highest age that commits suicide? Anybody knows?
Uh, Jyoti ma'am has raised her hand. Hello, Jyoti ma'am, please.
Hi, Miss Jyoti. Let me stop sharing. Let's have a chat. Can you hear me?
You have raised your hand, ma'am, please.
Anything in the chat? Miss Kavita. Nobody? Do you have any idea which age group is the highest? I think there is no certain age to commit suicide. Definitely, that's right. But then there are different people are committing suicide in different ages. Uh, but then there is a group uh, between an age that is the highest in the country committing suicide. Okay, never mind. 21 to 30. Very close, Miss Kavita. Okay, let's go. So the highest group that commits suicide is between 15 to 29 years old, which falls under that young adults, school teenagers, and working also, definitely, because the 29, you're already a family man in India, right? So that's the highest group. The second highest is 30 to 44. And then below 14 and above 60 are the lowest. And there is an age of 45 to 60, which is about 17%. Okay. State-wise, Maharashtra is leading the way, Tamil Nadu second, Madhya Pradesh third, Karnataka fourth, and West Bengal is fifth. Top four metropolitan cities: You can see how it has been increasing. Delhi is on the top. Chennai was close second, but in 2022, the rate dropped from 2,699 to 1,581. This is something that can be looked into on what actually happened for such drastic change. So Bangalore seemed to be again consistent at 2,000, 2,100, 2,200, 2,300, constantly going up. So all the other Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore, the deaths have been, slightly going up year to year. Only in Chennai it dropped by 1,000. That's something. Okay, now specifically to students. So student suicide. 2019, 10,335. 2020, 12,526. 2021, 13,089. 2022, 13,044. 2023, I found just this number that it's 12,000. But I still have to confirm it. But if it's that, then as sad as it is still high, but it has dropped by 1,000, 1,044 from last year, from 2022. Again, between the metropolitan cities, you can also see the graph that the same changes has been happening year to year. So what do we do? Well, what is the causes? What contributes to students, committing suicide? Anybody? You can type in the chat if you want. Or you can open your mic and share.
I think there can be pressure or
Bullying,
the
academic
impact,
stress.
pressure of study competition, maybe the one of the cause.
Yes. And anything else? Teachers, if you have heard anything, if you have experienced anything, if you have stories to share, you're more than welcome to share, talk.
I think so some problem is family problems can be done, academic pressures, relationship issues.
Thank you, Pankaj. Relationship is financial problems,
Emotional
relationship issues. Yes, Pankaj, you are saying?
and there be some few reasons that can be some mental health issue, emotional distress, family problems, some affairs can be there. This is the, I think, main reason for suicide.
Correct. Thank you. Ms. Rajani said, stress, burden, not sharing problem to any other. Correct. All these are constantly happening. So what's the most common reason students approach you with distress? Do you get approached? You are all teachers. Do you have students coming to you and sharing what's happening with them at such a level, what's distressing them. Okay. Like you said, academic stress, bullying, peer pressure, family issues, social media, and imposter syndrome. So, imposter syndrome, in other words, is the thinking that I'm not good enough. I'm a
Oh,
fake. Yes,
I would just like, some, this is Chatterjee and Soma Banerjee, they have said that yes, students come to them. I would like to ask if they can share the reason what they share with them when they approach them. What did they tell you about that? That will be beneficial for everybody here.
absolutely,
Soma,
absolutely.
Soma and Mr. Chatterjee, Chaitanya, sorry.
Hello,
Yes,
Yes, Miss
can
Soma.
you hear me, sir?
yes,
Can
we
you hear
can
me,
hear
sir?
you. Yeah, yes, we can hear you.
So, actually, I'm a teacher, and in my class, sometimes one of my students, she used to come to me and shared a few of her problems which she faces in her house. Maybe like she did not get good marks in any subject, and she gets scolded from her parents. So this kind of issue sometimes she comes and shares to me.
Thank you, Miss Soma. Later, I'll ask you what you did, okay? Later, when we'll get to that part, I would like to know what you guys do when you get approached by students. What is your method of managing such things? Okay. Anybody else? Uh, Chaitanya, do you have any stories for us? Okay, let's continue. Okay. So, academic stress, bullying, peer pressure, family issues, social media, imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is, the constant thinking of not being good enough, being fake, being, so the constant looking for constant validation, external validation, um, using filters and all that, and going on social media a lot, looking how many likes did I get for the picture I shared, and if not, then it affects them mentally. Academic pressure, family conflicts, social isolation, substance use, gender and identity struggle. So there's a lot of this also these days happening. But it was always there, um, because some things are very taboo in in India and a lot of the places in Asia specifically. So people struggle, and with all this um, pronouns going around and people wanting to identify in certain way, uh, it makes things very confusing for them, and and especially when um, these kids. Yes, anybody? Someone said something. So because if you're at age of 15, your hormones are changing, you're discovering yourself, and that age becomes very uh, crucial, where your identity gets affected, your body is changing, and you get treated differently, you feel differently, and sometimes if you don't have the right support, it can cause a lot of mental health issues. And of course, cultural taboo around mental health. So if this thing where if someone says that they have stress and anxiety or depression or things like that, it is a lot of times it's seen as, oh, what are you talking about? There's no such things. Just walk it off and be brave and you'll be fine. And, there is a lot of, that kind of um, uh, support given, which is actually of no support. Uh, they give their own example, wanting them to be like that and be brave. Stress, all this is nothing. Just don't think about it. Just get busy, just distract yourself. And this, the cultural taboo, which makes a lot of people suppress what the mental pressures, the mental health issues that they're going through at different age. So there is more on men, because also there is a big uh, being being brave and macho, and men don't cry, and men have to always show to be brave, and men must take responsibility. All these things are also quite a lot um, globally, but a lot more in Asian countries. You can ask questions, you can raise your hand, you can talk. Please don't be so quiet. You're all teachers. I thought teachers would be more talkative. Identifying warning signs. Withdrawal from friends, activities, or classes. So if you are looking for warning signs in your class, you will most probably know everybody in the class and how they behave and how they usually are. And if you see a sudden different behavior, you most probably can identify if you're looking for it, especially.
Your slides are not moving.
My slides are not moving.
No,
Is it moving now?
no.
Not
Please say.
moving. Stop sharing. Reshare. How about now? Can you see?
Yes, it is there now.
Okay. So withdrawal from friends, activities, or classes. Drop in performance. So academic performance or other activities or sports performance, you'll see that drop. Talking about death, hopelessness, or feeling trapped, giving away belongings, self-harm marks. So they might have cuts and bruises on wrist, on hands, on the visible parts of their body. But mostly it is the wrist, and the hand is the most accessible and easy to cut. So, or you can even see scratch marks, uh, you know, blade cuts. Mood swings. So mood swings is very tricky at a certain age because of all the hormonal changes. Um, you know, kids are very moody after the age of 14, 15, that age when they get there, they become in a different way and have all these mood swings. So if you see mood swings, you can also start looking for other signs. Is it just mood swing because of the age and the hormonal changes, or is it mood swings plus the self-harm marks plus the conversation of hopelessness and all, plus the drop in performance? How many other things you can identify before seeing them that they need some kind of help? And of course, you can take that forward with them. Unusual silence. So you can identify where someone who is usually talkative or smiling and happy and in a different way, and suddenly they go into the silence space, and they're not really sharing, talking, saying much, and they're just unusually silent. Questions? Anything you'd like to add to this? Nobody wants to talk. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we
Yes.
can hear. नहीं होता हम तो फिर हर हफ्ते मिलने आवेंगे मैं टुट्टे करके ले आती हूँ पहले कुछ बारे में नहीं आऊँ
Yvette?
Yes, I was just thinking that for people or for well, young adults or even adults who talk about um bullying, or not only in physical but more of cyberbullying, which is actually the silent killer. And I think they're more prone to die by suicide, and also those who are abused in any form, whether in domestic, especially if it's in it's domestic abuse.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody had any experiences of such observations which actually came true? Identified these signs in the students, and then later on it turned out to be true that they're stressed and they're anxious and they're having such suicidal tendencies. Okay. So identifying warning signs is done. Next, the do's and don'ts with at-risk students. So what can you do? Listen empathetically. So you need to listen with a lot of empathy.
Please
And,
reshare your slide. It's again the old one, which you were already showing to us.
oh, is it? Hang on. Let me try again. Why is this doing this? Okay, how about now? Now, okay?
Yes,
Can you see do's and don'ts?
yes.
Okay. So listen empathetically. Validate feelings. Okay. Ask calmly if they feel unsafe. Encourage help. Follow school protocol for cases like that. That will help. Anything anybody want to add to the do's? Or any questions on this?
I think winning trust is most important.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Winning trust. Yes,
yes.
absolutely. Anything else? So, this is what you don't do. Dismiss feelings. Do not say, why are you feeling like this? What is wrong with you? This is not a big matter. Okay? Do not dismiss their feelings. Offer false hope. Don't offer false hope. Okay? It's better to listen to them more than offering false hope that can backfire when it doesn't happen. Okay? Promise secrecy. Do not promise secrecy. Okay? No need to talk about, oh, your secret will be safe with me, things like that. Just because you want to win their trust and promise secrecy, and then later on, you know that they have suicidal tendencies, you share it with other teachers or the parents or the school counselor, that will backfire because you promised secrecy but you did not hold it. So that will break all the trust that you have built with the student. Okay.
But I have one question then, and somebody else has asked also. This
Okay.
is a tough job and beyond control sometimes, that how to treat them. And if you don't promise secrecy, what if they don't tell you?
So that's your fear, right?
Okay.
So you have mm, to believe in what you're doing and come up with a better protocol to get that information instead of operating from a space of fear that if I do not promise secrecy, she will not trust me. So you rather lie about secrecy. Yes, Neetuji.
Sir, my question is that sometimes it happen that the student tell that they are under depression. We try to counsel at our level best. Many of the things are being discussed, but even then they reach to the extreme step. It has been some Once I have a very personal experience, things have been decided, and the student told that I don't want to live, and lots of counseling being done, and the student appeared to be normal, but but the extreme step has been taken. So this is one incident, but it can happen to various other students. How to feel that they are not under depression, and when a good student or any student is going under depression, it's very, very difficult to bring the person to bring out of. Saying is something different, but actual the ground truth is totally different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is extremely, extremely difficult. It is impossible at times, especially with someone going through extreme depression and
Yes.
has been in that state for a long period of time before it is found. You see, what happens with depression is when someone goes into a deep depression, they actually forget why they are depressed, because initially your depression starts from sadness. So you are sad about something, something happened to you, something you see, something. There is this sadness that gets prolonged, and it gets into depression, and then you forget why were you sad, or it is so hard that you mentally you block yourself from even going there, and now you're just in this state of unknown sadness. And when you go into that space, what you also do is you identify emotions or naming emotions as something which is painful to you. So our brain works 100% at all times. So our brain, to block us, stop us from even naming those emotions. So a lot of depressed people, when you ask them, how do you feel? They'll come and tell you, I feel nothing.
Yes.
Right? Because if they name it, it pains them. So they stop even naming it. And then you ask them, so why are you depressed? Why are you sad? I don't know. So there's a lot of that. So it is extremely, you're right. It's extremely, extremely difficult. It is um, so you can only do so much. So for your um, own mental health, you need to understand that as a teacher, as a helper, you can only do so much. So there has to be different levels of help that you have to put in place, where you do the counseling, you do the thing, and then if that's not working, it has to go to a different level and a different level. But at sometimes, even all that fails. That is a reality that we need to accept.
And number of time it happens that the reason behind of depression are sometimes very silly or nothing so serious. But what I feel, that's the personality, how they presume the situation or how do they take. Sometimes we call it the self-esteem. Can be a significant reason on that.
Self-worth.
Sometimes, yes, sir.
Absolutely, you're totally right. Sometimes the reason, because with teenagers, they can, go into that space with something which to us is very silly, right? That's why what the one thing in the don'ts was, do not uh, devalue or their feelings, do or their thoughts or what they are. So equipping yourself to asking the right questions and helping them think and change the belief they carry towards that situation, towards that thing that is depressing them can be really, really helpful.
So what is my observation? If we find any of this student or anybody who's under depression, this is my personal observation, need to keep in company of the people, should not kept alone, one thing, because human interaction is very, very significant, and humans are in fact the medicine for the another person. If you remain all alone, you feel depressed. If you are among the people, you keep on talking and sharing, and somewhere, maybe it can be somewhere a help to the person to get out of the situation. I feel it like that. I don't know how to think.
Absolutely. No, no, no. You're right. You're right. It's one of the things that later I'm also talking about it in my presentation. Okay, and you're totally right about that. And among that, there's a few other things that you can also do.
But number of times, what is going through or being like appearing to be okay is one thing, but what is going inside, you do not have the scale to map that. So
Absolutely.
how to understand that situation?
So that's why you need to have a list of signs that you can, it's not just by appearance, but also you look for other signs, because observing them when they're not directly interacting with you. Sometimes they'll where they're interacting, they are interacting very happily, but then when they are away and then they don't see you, their whole expression changes. So their body language, something that you can observe, how they walk when they are on their own, slouching like that, which, the change in the behavior, um, the marks, if any harmful marks, or um, so if you have a list of things, then it's not just one thing that you're looking for. So it's not just the appearance, but also other specific, because someone who is in that state will not be able to keep up the same appearance at all times, or in everything. So it will show eventually it will show in one or two things, even though they're trying very well to hide it.
And because students do not stay all the time with the teachers, they stay there for 6 or 7 hours, and rest of the hours they are spending time with their family and various other things.
Correct.
So that's another gray
I
area
have
how to
something for that. I have something for that also.
I would ask you, Mohib, one question, and that
Yes.
is it a sign that a child becomes frequently irritated and not wanted to ask questions? Somebody asks a question and that's irritated. Ki, why you are asking so many questions and all that? Is it a sign? Can be a sign
Can
that
be a
they don't
sign,
want?
but can
Okay.
be a sign. Can be a sign, but it can also be related to other things. So that's why you cannot just jump into conclusion because of one thing you notice. So you have to have you then, okay, you can suspect, okay, something is going on, and then you check with other thing, okay, what are the other signs that is aligned to someone in that space.
Okay, and one thing I have also experienced in life that there were students who had particular demand from their parents, and they used to threaten them that they will commit suicide if they do not, uh, uh, fulfill that demand. Especially,
Mm.
after 10th, 11th, 12th, these students. So,
Mm.
I would like that you throw some light on such behavior as well.
Okay, so that is more parent related, right? Parenting related. So that's again how you approach the situation, how you talk to them, how you uh, um, how consistent are you with your approach. So your behavior towards them, and you're managing them on day to day, because they start this kind of blackmailing because of something that they have experienced before, or this is their way of getting their way with things, or so there has to be a conversation with the person on why you have to say something like this, where is this coming from. So
So
Abbas,
that's
Mehdi, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. I just want to put here something.
Yes,
I
please.
that's maybe I do understand somewhere the type of personality, which is very significant for the teachers while we are teaching when dealing with the students. Because education is not only just to go with the curriculum and passing with the certificate and marks. It's the holistic development, and when we talk, the students who are emotionally weak or who are more emotional, mm, I hope that is a reason they become depressed with the small things.
But what does that
So
mean
here,
when you say
so
emotion?
here comes the role of the teacher, that we have to uh, try our level best to make the students mentally strong, and they should have the life skills to face different challenges of the life. Nowadays, the children are not so strong somewhere, like they are so have been taken in that care ki they have been not groomed in that way ki they are ready to face the challenges of the lives. So giving challenge to the students or to the person is very very essential, and keep making them mentally strong. I hope that can be one thing which can bring them out of the difficult situations when they are solution oriented. So that mindset need to be developed from the very beginning among the students, so that when they are having solution oriented mindset and strong enough, and they face the challenges with happiness, I hope that can help them out somewhere not to go in the depression situation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nituji. That was really good points you shared. That ground level life skills, which is not taught in schools, it's just curriculum, uh, not teaching students about emotions and how to express them and how to name them. You see, and how to build resilience in the face of distress and emotion turmoil um, is really really an education that can go beyond just school, because these are life skills that we should be teaching our our students. I will touch based on that in my presentation more. Thank you so much, Neetuji.
Thank you,
Anybody
sir.
else?
Most welcome.
Okay, so I continue.
Mr. Abbas, do you want to share something?
I think his mic is on, but he's not sure if his mic is on.
Mr. Abbas? Okay, then let's move on.
Yeah, we can't hear him. Maybe his mic is not working. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so do's, this is empathetically validate feelings. This is done. Do not dismiss feelings. Offer false hope. Promise secrecy. Oh, see, the last one is leave them alone. Do not leave them alone. Okay. So as Miss Neetu said, you can't leave them alone. The more they sit with their this disruptive thoughts, the more they do self-harm. So having someone appear around and encourage them to socialize more, will something that will be very beneficial in their recovery and coming out of that state of mind. Next, intervention techniques. So this is
Please
called
reshare. Please reshare.
reshare.
Uh,
Okay, now. Okay, one of the intervention techniques is called safer model. Okay, this one is safer, is S is see, A is ask, F is facilitate, E is engage, R is refer. So as Ms. Neetu said, a lot of times as a teacher, you can only do so much. So you have to have a referral point where you can escalate this to a school counselor or even someone external involving parents and external coaches or therapists. Okay, then an E is for emergency response steps. So there has to be also that in place. Talking to parents, getting parents involved, and educating them with this is very, very important, because a lot of times parents do not get involved, and if they get involved, they see this as something troubling, something shameful, and they start behaving in ways which is more hurtful to the student. So talking to parents and educating them and making them understand to approach their child with more empathy and more support, and give more external support if so they can they can get the right help. Key message: supportive listening and immediate referral can save lives. Okay, but as Ms. Neetuji earlier said, that with that one student, everything was done, but still what was said was done. The act was, committed, which is very sad, but then it is just, you can only do so much. Okay, so just it's not about saving everybody. It's maybe having practices and having approaches in place where you can save those who want to be saved, who are in that space, who can be saved. But we will not always be successful, but if we can save some, that is also a big win, even if it's one life. Okay, building a supportive school environment. So a lot of things just now we talked about, and Ms. Neetuji also shared, which was really good. Ms. Reshmiji shared also, will be covered in this. Do you want me to go more into safer, or this is clear? Is this clear? SAFERE? Do you want me to go more into what it is and one by one?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, who's this?
This is Abbas, sir.
Hi, Abbas. We have been trying to hear you for
Yes,
a
sir.
while.
Just a small question, sir.
Yes, please.
Actually, what happens is, when you ask them also, whether they are facing some issue or something, they suddenly go into a self-denial mode.
Yep.
They start denying, that, even if they have an issue, they start denying that they have an issue.
Correct.
They don't accept the issue first. So
Absolutely.
how do we convince them actually in that regard?
So why are they denying this to you?
Probably because maybe, if you ask them publicly, they might deny it. But even what I felt was, even privately, if you ask them, they start to deny. I don't know what is the reason for that.
Okay. So one thing that I teach in my classes, in communication classes, is the meaning of reply is in the communication. How the
Okay.
other person is responding to you is very much based on how you have communicated this to them. So we were talking about building that trust, right?
Right.
And having that, building that comfort zone for them to come to you and know that you are accessible and you are someone who will actually give them the help that they need, right?
Okay, sir.
So you know that they have a problem, but they are reluctant to share. It means there is a gap.
Okay, I understand,
Right. So now how you approach, how you communicate, what kind of questions you ask them for them to feel that comfort, that safety to open up to you. And one other thing, Mr. Abbas,
Yes,
this
sir.
might actually take a few tries. So your consistency in being that way and being that open, a teacher who I can talk to, is very important. So you can talk to someone one time, two time, three time, and they will deny. But maybe the fourth time they will come, or they will know that they can come. So they might come to you. So having that, creating that space, which I will cover in my next slide, is something that will be more on you than them, because
So
of course
basically,
they will
uh,
rely.
what
Go
I
on.
understand, sir, basically you're trying to say is that we have to be persistent and patient.
Persistent, patient, consistent in how you are with everybody. So they know that Sir Abbas will give me the help that I need, and I can always talk to him, right?
Yes, sir.
And like if you think about your own school time, you will find that there was a teacher whom you would be very comfortable going to.
Right, sir.
And the reason, if you think about it, will be because of how they were and how they were, their kindness, their approach, their space, and how, for different people
The
would be
overall
different.
persona, yeah.
Yeah, for different people it will be different, but there is always this one teacher that you feel like, okay, if I have anything, he will manage, he will take care of me. So this next slide about building that environment is key to what you're asking.
Okay, sir.
Anybody else? Thank you so much, Mr. Abbas. That was really, really
Welcome, sir.
good.
Welcome, sir.
Okay. Okay, so this safer is okay. I don't need to go more deeper into this, right? You want me to go deeper? I can go deeper. I can break it down. Recognize observable changes and red flags. That's C. Watch for behavioral shifts, withdrawal, irritability, absenteeism. Notice verbal cues. I can't do this anymore. No one cares. Okay. Keep an eye on academic performance, decline, signs of self-harm, and train the staff and yourself to understand, what kind of subtle changes in mood and social interaction that is observable to you by seeing. Then ask, approach with care, ask direct, non-judgmental questions. Use private, safe settings. Like you can say, I've noticed you seem upset. Want to talk about it? Giving them that space of saying no and yes at the same time, right? Be calm and compassionate. Are you feeling overwhelmed or thinking about something harmful? Or you can just have a general conversation around suicide if you're that sure that that's happening, right? So sometimes having that conversation does not plant the idea of suicide. It often brings relief. Okay. Avoid yes and no questions. Use open-ended question prompts or encourage dialogue instead of yes, no, yes, no. So make sure that you have open-ended questions so they are so when they answer, it is beyond just one word. F is facilitate. So create a safe space to talk and feel heard. Let the students speak without rushing or offering quick solutions. That's the last thing you want. Do not go into offering quick solution. I understand the amount of difficulty a teacher goes through and the limited amount of time they have, because apart from school, they also have their own life. They also have a whole lot of other things to do. But if you are in that space, you have to make sure that you have that time and you're really sitting with this person and speaking to them without rushing them or without offering quick solutions. Reflect their feelings. For example, you can say, that sounds really difficult. I'm here with you. Don't, we can find a way, reinforce confidentiality, but clarify limits. Remember we talked about secrecy? I may need to speak to someone to keep you safe, even though this is between us. But if I was not able to give you the help that you need, I may need to speak to someone to keep you safe. Okay? And give them silence so they can talk instead of you talking. That silence can really, really help. Don't force the conversation. Allow to unfold. Allow, because a lot of these kids or at any age, someone that distressed, do not really have a space where they are heard. So they have a lot of things that they want to say, but every time they start talking about, either they are given quick solutions, they are asked to shut up and don't be so boring, or don't talk about these things. Why are you like this? What's wrong with you? That kind of conversation. And then they stop sharing, and then it just eats them inside. So giving them silence, allowing this whole thing to unfold, allowing them the space to talk will really, really, we'll be able to get more information from them by being silent. Engage. Involve appropriate internal and external support system. Alert school counselor or child protection team if available. Communicate with empathy, professionalism when involving parents or guardians. Work collaboratively with the student to develop a safety plan. Who can you go to when you're overwhelmed? So they have a point of contact if they feel, in that space and they can't approach you, who else can they go to? And really, really, really important to document everything. Document, write in your journal, in your notes, what happened, what did you talk to? So this is something you can refer to of your meetings with these students. Okay, and you can inform the student that I'll make some notes so that we can refer to it later on. Then R as refer, connect the student to professional mental health support, provide referrals, helplines, or you can give them some material they can read about things. Later on, I'll be sharing some names in India where you can actually have these things put around school where students can see and use. Okay, that's all. Questions? No questions? I'm taking too much time. Build a supportive school environment. Sorry.
Somebody has asked a question. Can they
Okay.
take this topic in circle time for primary students?
Primary students. So can we take this topic in circle time for primary school student? What do you mean circle time? What does circle time mean? But you see, a lot of this information you can use at different level. It just doesn't have to be just students. The main whole topic of the whole approach is, you see someone in that space, being student or non-student or an adult, your approach as with empathy, with openness, building trust, is really, really, really important. For children at primary level, it might be difficult because a lot of times they don't know how to express themselves. So teaching them how to express themselves would be more key. Like how you teach kids to play with colors and they name the colors and red and blue, and so they have a palette of wonderful colors. You can teach them about emotions, and relate them to colors, like yellow is this and blue is happiness and this is sadness, and this, so they can find a way to communicate what's happening with them, because verbally may be difficult for them, because kids below 12, 10, it's extremely difficult for them to understand emotions and express themselves accordingly. So you have to find a different way to help them out. But maybe next time we can do something specifically for younger primary students. Thank you, Jaya. Okay. Go back to presentation. Share. Okay. Build a supportive school environment. Okay. So this is one of the things that will really, really help you without you even getting involved. Okay. If you have a supportive school environment, you will see that it will make your job a lot easier. So destigmatize mental health through education. So this is a big thing. Talking about mental health and understanding that this is something that is happening and it needs attention, and it's not something to be laughed about, and it's something serious, is the number one key in building a supportive school environment. So integrate mental health into school curriculum via awareness sessions or life skills programs. Invite mental health professionals for regular talks and workshops. Display posters, bulletin boards, messages, and visual materials that normalize seeking help. Encourage open dialogue and peer support. So this is the thing that I wanted to talk about, which is the second best thing after destigmatizing mental health in schools. Create safe space like talk circles or buddy systems where students can share feelings. Okay, so if you have buddy programs and some 5-minute talk circles where everybody sit down and discuss how they feel, how what happened over the weekend, or how they feel about things, or how they feel about life, or how they feel um, you know overall. Practicing this uh, will really help. Train student peer leaders to be listeners and point of contact peers. So in every group, then you can have a leader who can manage this. Okay, so they can be smaller circles, and then there can be bigger circles, and then the peer leaders can have their own circles and share their observations for them to learn from these experiences. Celebrate World Mental Health Day, conduct story sharing sessions. This things like this will open things up, and students can feel that having mental health is actually a normal, mental health issues is actually a normal thing. But then at the same time, they can, where they can go to get that support and talk about it and relieve themselves from such mental pressures. Train teachers to recognize red flags. So if there's a program for teachers where they can be taught how to recognize red flags, it will be really, really helpful. Conduct quarterly or biannual mental health awareness workshops for teachers. Provide checklists and protocols to identify early warning signs. Encourage staff to keep records of behavioral concerns and changes. Have a clearly defined confidential support process. This is also very key. Develop a clear protocol for escalation when a student shows signs of distress. Designate a mental health point person, counselor, or a trained staff in each school. Ensure safe, confidential documentation and non-punitive responses. Ensure parental awareness and collaboration. Hold parent-teacher meetings focused on emotional well-being, not just academics. Provide parents with take-home resources about adolescent stress and coping. Create an open channel for communication between school counselors and families. Questions? Is this helpful? No questions?
Yvette
Okay.
has asked a question. Yvette, can you ask?
Yvette, you want to ask something?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask something about in relation to the primary students. Like, for them, I think prevention is also good. Like, is it is it possible that we slowly teach them emotional literacy in their own language, how they speak for these primary students, so that they will know how they feel and then express them?
It
So do you
is.
think this can
Look,
also be
emotional
helpful?
literacy is even harder to teach adults. because that's what I do. And so for the kids, it is at primary level, they're still figuring things out. Some can't even speak properly or communicate. They don't have the proper vocabulary. So giving them different ways of expressing themselves by drawings or by coloring and by that kind of, that can really help at that level.
And
Verbally, for them to understand at that age is very difficult.
showing them emojis with different emotions may help. What do you think?
Mhm.
Yeah, and emojis or educating, and then having them feeling safe to be more expressive. But normally primary kids uh, do not really have any filter. They just say what they feel like saying. And but then if it's the right way, because they also don't understand the emotions that well, for them to express like that. So like, I was working with a mother whose kid was constantly expressing his stress as nausea, and then he would have all the symptoms of nausea. So the kid would vomit and the kid would feel weak. And but the main thing was, what was happening with the kid was that the kid was actually stressed about school, about a class, about a homework, about something, but wasn't able to say that I'm stressed or I'm having these stressful, distressing thoughts that is making me feel one kind. But he has picked up this word nausea, and now his whole body is responding based on what he was saying. Okay,
Thank you.
we continue. So this is done. Okay, equipped with real help. So these are the help in India. So for every other country, you'll have these things. You'll have this different kind of help provided by NGOs, by government hotlines. Uh, this is something that I found on India. I call Snehi Delhi, Vandervela Foundation helpline. Then, of course, there are psychologists and counselors, and then having school internal safety and escalation process. Having a process in school is really helpful. This you can find online easily. I also found it online. That list can be a lot more, but I did not want to put everything here, so this is just a few I picked. Pop quiz. This one you guys have to. I always wanted to do a pop quiz for my teachers. So you teachers have a pop quiz now. What is a common warning sign of suicide in adolescents? Anybody?
They can write in chat.
Yes, of course.
Alienation.
Alienation. What is a common warning sign?
self-harm,
Self-harm, yes.
Suicide ideation.
Suicide ideation, self-harm, alienation.
depression,
And
sir. Depression,
depression, yes.
tendency to stay alone,
Yes. Withdrawal, being alone, disinterest in activities. Search more about that. Yes. Withdraw from activities.
Aggressive behavior.
Aggressive behavior, correct? Because
And
again, the behaviors can't be just withdrawal, because we have 4 different response states that we can go into. Changes in mood, yes. Being stubborn, substance abuse, alcohol and drugs. So your 4 response: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So you will notice different. It's not always just cutting off. It can also be aggression, um, or going into different pleasing response state. Okay, next question.
So sometimes such people, they often talk about that they are a burden on others.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I'm a burden to everybody. I'm a burden to the world.
Yes.
Why am
Yeah,
I
this is a
here?
very, I've noticed this. Yes.
Yep,
they will become like introverts, sir, not extroverts.
correct. So some will go the opposite. Some will go extrovert, some will go introvert, but extrovert to an extreme with anger and you know that kind of aggression. Engaging in risk and self-destructive behavior, yes. Low self-esteem, changes in eating and sleeping patterns, confused thinking, absolutely. Let's look at the next question. Oops. What should you avoid saying to a distressed student? What should you avoid saying to a distressed student? These are the don'ts.
no advice, solution.
No advice, no quick solutions. That's nothing. You are overreacting. That's right, David. Thank you. No comparison. Yes. Everybody has their own pain. It cannot be compared. Your experiences, your thoughts are your own, and there is their own. So you have to deal with it individually. I'll keep your talk secret. Yes. No secrecy promises. Do not approach a distressed student from a space of fear. Okay, that will break, that will make you do things which you shouldn't be doing. You're so sensitive. Or stop crying. Exactly, Dr. Ritu. That is the worst thing you can say. That is actually toxic positivity. You're helping, but you're not really helping. No negative remarks. Yes. You're overreacting. Don't leave them alone. Yes. Stop saying you're fit for nothing. Absolutely. So words matter. So how you communicate is the key. So everything will be all right. Absolutely. This is the worst false promise. Everything will be all right. No need to say things like that. Just listen. Don't say this is the classic case of false promise. You said everything will be okay, but nothing is okay. I don't want to talk to you anymore. But this is something we hear from everyone who is counseling us when we are growing up. Our parents tell us everything will be okay. Don't worry, everything will be okay. Our teacher says this is something that we have grown up with. But we know that this is actually more hurtful when it doesn't happen, because you go into a false promise. So it's okay not to be okay. We need to accept that ourselves. Okay? And understand that what worked for us to be mentally strong doesn't mean that it will work for the other person. So it has to be a customized approach for each and every person that comes to you. Not all students are the same. Next question. Last question. Okay, not too much. Who should be informed if a student expresses suicidal thoughts? This is easy. This one is very easy. Parents, correct? Guidance, counselors, absolutely. Okay, getting the right help, having a protocol process in place to know where to go, who, teacher, principal, doctor, absolutely. Psychologists, understanding who the child feel comfortable with. Yeah, that's really good. School counselor, fantastic. Okay, you all passed. 10 out of 10 for everybody. Friends, you might be a bit be careful with the friends. Close friends only if you know that they know about this. So that one you need to maybe check with the person if it's okay to share it with the friends, because this stigmatism is huge, and if this thing actually came out, it can be harmful. So being open, whom you want to share with the person, is really, really important. Okay. Done. We are done. Questions, suggestions, emergency services, mother, father. Yes, absolutely. Just be careful with the friends and counter check and see, if the person is okay with all this. How was the workshop? Did you learn anything new? Or did I just repeat myself? You knew all this already. Was it helpful? Was it worth your time? Thank you, Dr. Ritu. Thank you. You have any questions? Anything that you need me to explain and share again? You want me to go into any of the slides? Thank you, Vit. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Miss Saira.
The I just thank you.
Yes.
It was really a wonderful workshop. And I just thank you everybody who participated. I'm putting a link, feedback form link, which I request everybody to please fill it, and so that we you can get your
Yes. Please fill up the, click on the link Reshmi ji shared.
certificate.
This will help you get your certification.
I hope everybody here able to see that link.
I've reshared it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mamta ji. Thank you, Radhika ji. Thank you, everybody,
Thank you,
for being
Nitu
here,
ma'am.
for your
Thank you,
time.
Abbas. Yeah,
Please click on
and
the link so you can have the feedback form and you can share it. Thank you, Mr. Abbas. Thank you for your participation. It really was very helpful to me also. I need more people to get involved next time. You have
yeah,
to share
would
your
you please
stories.
stop sharing?
Stop
Mm,
sharing.
yeah,
Done.
done. Good. So I hope this was a little helpful to everybody who came here. I know their responses are showing that yes, they liked it and they really gained something, because this is the all of the about the effort we are putting into, and all the effort Mr. Muhib had put into his presentation and sharing his knowledge. And please apply it into with your students and your people who are around you. And yes, it was a really good suggestion, Ms. Mohit, by you, that you said that there should be some programs for students on a regular basis about this. So I know that is being a former principal, I know it is very hectic. The schools have very hectic schedules, and they most of the time, yes, the curriculum academic side is most given preference. But the times are changing. Schools are also realizing the importance, and they all have a certain, time and programs which actually give and life skills specifically. So they have some included into their lesson plan, that how they are um teaching or developing these skills into students. Once again, I will request that please, when you fill the form, put all the information correct with correct spellings, because we receive request afterwards that some incorrect spellings or this information, incomplete information was put into the certificate. But you see that all the information which is there in the feedback goes to the certificate. Anybody else would like to share anything?
Thank you, Vid.
Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Muhib, for taking out your time, helping us in India, the audience educators, and helping me specifically because I really feel that this is something which is of prime importance now that we talk about emotions and distress, everything which we are going on. So still
This
people
is
do
very
not
close to
talk.
me. My
Yeah,
my
that is
purpose in life is to reduce the suicide rate in the world. So it's very
very good.
personal, and and, you know, suicide is one thing that always hurts me quite um, much. So, and whenever I hear about suicide, it's just very sad to me. So this is very personal. And it at this really needs to be done at school level, which will help everybody in their life. As someone who's more equipped and emotionally resilient and strong can help their family, can help their community, and it can go on. So it has to be done at the ground level. Take care, Yvette.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mohit, for sharing your wonderful knowledge with us. And thank you, everyone.
Anytime,
I hope
anytime.
everyone will fill the form so that you can get your certificates timely. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Have a nice time. Bye,
Bye
Mohit.
bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, RTG. Bye, everybody. Please fill up the feedback form so you can get your certification.